I still remember the sound of the glass door closing behind me. Not slamming, not dramatic, just a soft, polite click, the kind that says, "This place is no longer for you." What stayed with me wasn't the words they used, or the looks, or even the fact that someone had a phone pointed in my direction. It was the calm certainty in their voices when they decided who I was and who I wasn't in less than half a minute. I walked into that boutique on purpose, dressed exactly the way I was. Faded hoodie, old sneakers I'd had since before my first company ever mattered, a backpack that looked like it had seen too many airports. No logos, no flash, no armor. The moment I stepped inside, I felt it. That shift in the air, the conversations that didn't stop but changed pitch, the glances that lingered just a little too long. You know that feeling like you're being measured by a ruler you never agreed to. I went straight to the watch display, not rushing, not sneaking, just walking like I belonged in my own body. The woman behind the counter didn't look up, not at first. She was helping another customer, well-dressed, confident, familiar. I waited. I didn't interrupt. I checked the reflection in the glass instead. For a second, I almost laughed at how predictable it all was. When I finally spoke, my voice surprised even me. Calm, even, polite. "Excuse me," I said, nodding toward one of the watches. "I'd like to take a look at that one." She turned slowly, arms crossing before her eyes even met mine. That look came next, the half-smile that isn't friendly, the one that says, "This is going to be uncomfortable but not for me." "That piece," she said, dragging the words out, "starts at 80,000. I nodded. "I understand." She let out a short laugh. Not loud, just enough for people nearby to hear. "I don't think that's really in your range," she said. "You might want to try somewhere else." That was the moment something inside me tightened. Not anger, clarity. I could have told her who I was. I could have pulled out a card, a name, a history. I could have ended the whole thing in 10 seconds. But I didn't, because I wasn't there to win an argument. I was there to see the truth. "I'd still like to see it," I said. That's when things shifted from awkward to intentional. Policies started appearing out of nowhere. Deposits, verifications, requirements that hadn't existed 5 minutes earlier. Each sentence spoken slower than the last, like I was being taught something simple. Around us, people noticed. Phones came out. Whispers spread. Someone said, "This is weird," under their breath. A manager walked over heels, clicking posture perfect. She scanned me the same way the others had. Jeans, hoodie, backpack. Then she smiled, not warmly but professionally. "Is there a problem here?" she asked. "I'd like to see a watch," I said. "That's all." She hesitated, then said, "Sir, you're making some of our customers uncomfortable." I looked around. People weren't uncomfortable with me. They were uncomfortable with the situation, with the mirror being held up in front of them. "What exactly have I done?" I asked. She didn't answer that. She couldn't. Instead, she straightened her shoulders and made a decision. "I'm going to have to ask you to leave." That sentence landed heavier than any insult. Security approached a man who looked like he didn't want to be there either. He avoided my eyes. "Sir," he said quietly, "let's step outside." I remember checking the time on my phone. I had a meeting in a few minutes. I remember thinking how strange it was that everything felt so calm, like the world hadn't realized yet that it was about to change direction. I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. I just said, "Thank you. This was informative." Then I walked out. The sunlight hit my face, warm and ordinary. Life kept moving. Cars passed. People laughed down the street. Behind me, the door closed again softly. I didn't go home. I didn't go back in. I went upstairs. What happened next didn't happen because I demanded it. It happened because systems don't care about feelings, only facts. Emails started moving faster than apologies ever do. Meetings were scheduled. Names were Googled. Footage was reviewed from angles no one in that store had thought about. By the time I sat down at the table, I was headed to the store had already left the building. I watched it unfold from a distance, not with satisfaction, not with revenge, but with a strange stillness. Like watching a storm you didn't start, but knew was coming. People always ask me later why I didn't reveal myself right away, why I let it go that far. The answer is simple. When people think you matter, they perform. When they think you don't, they're honest. I didn't want apologies shaped by fear. I wanted the truth shaped by comfort. The next day that store didn't open. Not because I forced it, because consequences finally caught up with behavior that had been ignored for too long. Policies changed. People changed roles. Some learned, some didn't. And none of that required me to raise my voice. The part I remember most clearly isn't the fallout. It's that first moment of silence when they realized too late that they'd been judging the wrong thing. I didn't win by humiliating anyone. I won by leaving with my dignity intact and letting the truth do what it always does when it's finally seen. So let me ask you something and really think about it. Do you believe money changes how people treat you, or does it simply expose how they treat people when they think there's no price to pay?